Thank you for joining us on the Person to Person Network. Welcome to Profiles in STEM. Our career series will feature an amazing STEM professional who is shaping lives and building the future. I'm your host, Katie Culbert, and if you haven't already done so, please leave a like and subscribe to our network. Joining me today, we have a very special woman in STEM, Dr. Valerie Adams. Dr. Adams is a biologist in the Health Effects Research Division under the Toxicology Directorate of the United States Public Health Center. Dr. Adams, welcome to our program.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. So, Dr. Adams, can we step back in time and go back to a particular moment you can pinpoint that first inspired you to pursue a career in STEM?
You know, I think that's a very interesting question. I pondered when was the first time I was interested in science. And I have to say, honestly, I think I've always been interested in biology, in nature, and environmental sciences. Growing up, I had several career aspirations. I have to say that I went and listened to some of the other profiles, and I feel like we all sort of sound a bit the same. I wanted to be a marine biologist, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I wanted to be a botanist, not all at the same time. But in my own mind as a kid, I scratched those careers off my list for various kind of silly reasons now, like sharks were too scary, and I don't know if I like needles enough, and maybe field work is a little too difficult. But, you know, I never thought that I would be anything other than a scientist. When I was growing up, there was a lot less promotion of STEM opportunities, especially careers outside of academic institutions, like the STEM jobs that the Army and APHC have. And so it's really exciting to be talking to young and up and coming scientists about what their opportunities are.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I think it's really nice advice that you gave everyone because personally for me, I have a lot of interests and I don't know exactly what I want to do, but you just explained, you slowly narrowed it down over time, but always knew you wanted to do something related to science. So,
exactly.
Adams, over the course of your career, you've had the choice to either pursue the civilian or military side in research. Can you tell me about what first inspired you to go into a career in the military?
So my experience is all on the civilian side, although I do have various family members that have served in active duty services throughout my life. During my PhD program when I was in San Antonio, Texas, I collaborated with an Air Force physician there for part of my project. And then as a postdoc, I worked on a project that was funded by a Department of Defense grant. In both of those cases, I found that the nature of these projects was very rewarding. They're very applied work, very much seeking an answer. And when an opportunity to come work for APHC and solve problems for the Army came up, I took that chance.
I like how you just went for it and just like the research and how into it was. So I'm sure that our viewers are curious to know, what are some of the key differences between careers in the military versus civilian life?
So in many ways, the scientific experiences in the Army or the Department of Defense are similar to scientific experiences in academia and industry. For example, we attend the same scientific conferences and look for collaborations amongst the groups to advance our work. We often seek to publish in peer-reviewed journals. Although for the Army and Department of Defense, we have our own publication efforts for reports that don't necessarily always go out into the peer-reviewed public literature, for example. I would say that, you know, working for the Army, it's much more specialized and applied for the Department of Defense as well as the Army, similar to how industry does science, with business being very focused on an end product. In contrast, a lot of academic scientists may work on much more basic concepts and theories. The DoD does have laboratories that conduct more basic science work as well, and these groups often work very closely with academic partners. What I have also noticed in working with the Army is that experience and trainability are as valued as having an advanced degree. So recognition is merit-based, and people work together regardless of their academic upbringings to solve problems.
Thank you for sharing that perspective and insight and really highlighting the differences and similarities between the two. Let's switch gears and talk more about what you do. So, without getting too technical, Dr. Adams, can you tell me about what you do? For example, what a typical day is like for you?
So most of what APHC does for the Army is focused on the safety of soldiers and their families. I often think of APHC as the FDA and the EPA and OSHA for the Army. So this work includes product safety evaluation for things the Army may develop or purchase for the use of for soldiers to use out in the field. As a biologist and a toxicologist in the toxicology directorate, I evaluate products for potential toxicity concerns. And with my background in cell and molecular biology, I was hired to develop and evaluate non-animal testing methods for APHC as well. These in vitro methods have the potential to reduce both the cost and the time it takes to do a toxicology assessment.
Oh, thank you. That was really interesting work. Thank you for breaking it down for us and providing our viewers with that really important glimpse into your career. So, can you provide us with some specific examples of the type of research you are currently conducting?
So my current efforts are a bit diverse. Part of my time is spent evaluating systems that are being tested by other Army commands. For example, chromium-6 is a toxic metal that has been used in metal plating, and the Army is looking for chromium-6 replacements that have less toxicity. APHC provides the safety review, part of which is my toxicity review of these new compounds. I am also working on computational methods for developing how a chemical interacts with a protein receptor. The goal of this work is to develop a screen that will tell us how a group of new chemicals may affect cell function.
Wow, that's really exciting and important work. I know it's very fulfilling to know that your work is helping some of the brave men and women who serve our country. So, Dr. Adams, I want to say thank you for giving us a glimpse into your very interesting life. And as a parting thought, is there something you would like to share with our audience as they explore STEM and careers in STEM?
Sure. I think the best advice that I would give to kids that are coming up in the STEM career fields is just to stay curious. So as I said, how I developed as a kid and the things I was interested in and the wide variety of things I was interested in, I was always interested in science. So I was always curious about how nature worked, curious about the world around me. And I think that keeping that spark as you move through your career and you move through your educational processes, some of which you might find, topics to be not quite to your liking, to just stay curious and stay focused on that end goal.
Thank you. That's really great advice. I know I'll take it to heart and I'll never stop asking why because of your advice. So, I would like to thank my very special guest, Dr. Valerie Adams. Dr. Adams, it was great speaking with you today. Thank you so much for spending time with us. And to our viewers, please join us again for another exciting episode and another remarkable STEM professional. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. You have been listening to Profiles in STEM. Thank you. Katie Culbert signing off.